Hi, I'm Charlotte Speak from Power of the Parent, and I wanted to record you a video today about a topic that comes up a lot with my coaching clients and also very often in the workshops that I deliver, and that is around guilt, and in particular reframing guilt. It probably won't come as a great shock to most parents watching this to say that it is a topic that is rife, but I think and hopefully what this is going to bring you is a slightly different perspective on how we can work with it and also kind of learn to push against it. There is an element of, in my opinion, that guilt will always be there, and I know that that's an opinion shared by lots of people. But for me, it is about looking at how do we respond to it, and does it need a response every time? So the activity that you can do with this is to take the guilt, the thing that's happening, the feeling that you're sat with, and to have a look at, is it toxic? Is it functional or dysfunctional guilt? I've used a word there that I was about to come on to. So where guilt is functional, it is there to serve a purpose. It is trying to tell you something. It might be that you want to make a change to how you're working, or something like a habit that you've got that you're wanting to unpick. But it should be, if it had a voice, it would be talking to you and saying, you need to make a change. If it is on the other side, it's dysfunctional and it can become quite toxic. So it's something that you can't do much about. It serves very little purpose at all. It may even be because of somebody else's beliefs or thoughts. Fundamentally though, it's something that you cannot change. And the more you put the pressure on yourself to make a difference, to shift it, that it's just not going to shift. So the next time you have something that leaves you feeling triggered, leaves you feeling guilty, then this is a really practical exercise that I would recommend doing. You can literally write down or voice note, do whatever it is that resonates for you, the thing that's sprung up, the instance that's made you feel guilty, and work through, okay, what is this trying to tell me? Is it something I can shift and change, or is it something that actually serves no purpose and is going to have no bearing on me? For me, I will share my own personal example of dysfunctional guilt. So when I returned to work, having had my eldest, I didn't feel guilty about going back to work. I really relished the idea of not being able to be the one that was in control of things like nap times. She was a serial nap resister. Not having to think through what could I give her for lunch today. I actually enjoyed that kind of freedom of thought. But the world told me that I was meant to feel some level of guilt about going back to work. And then when I didn't feel guilty, I felt guilty for not feeling guilty. So get your head around that one if you can. But in that instance, for me, that would very much fall into dysfunctional guilt, because I wasn't suddenly going to, start to feel guilty about going back to work. I wanted to be there. I needed to be there. She needed to be in childcare. I was leaving her in a lovely nursery setting that she really enjoyed. So that guilt was just, it wasn't doing me any good at all to think like, oh God, I'm meant to feel guilty here, so therefore I should, and like trying to search for it. It was not a great place to be in. Other times, an example of functional guilt for me is often related to screen time. So I found that I feel guilty when if I'm with the kids and I'm on my phone trying to do some work. So like trying to respond to an email, or kind of produce some sort of content or something that is more work related. I will happily have a cheeky 5-10 minute scroll while they're watching something on telly, or if I'm like cooking tea or something. I feel a lot less, if any, actually guilt at doing that, because I kind of think, we've all got our own thing going on. But where it's really zapping my focus and attention away from them, and it's not that easy to keep picking up and putting down, I do feel guilty then, and it then calls into question, right, so that means for me the action here is that it's functional guilt. It's telling me I need to put a boundary in that says I'm not going to work when I'm around the kids, and I'm certainly not going to do it from my phone. So that would be an example of a time when I felt guilty and I've put some functionality behind it and made a change. I hope that was helpful, and it brings to life a little bit more about this sometimes seemingly huge topic, and one that we kind of think is inevitable, but if we can reframe some of this, it isn't just about semantics, it really can make a huge difference. So all the best on your guilt journey, and I hope that categorisation of functional and dysfunctional will help.